You people is one of many dog whistle phrases, which in most cases are specifically used by racists to put non-whites in the them category. It's too often followed by go back where you came from, which is difficult for many Canadians of color since they were born here. Quebec has pure laine for original wool, which is kind of like Harper's old school Canadians. And the current conservative movement likes 416 elites, which, since the majority of voters in the 416 are immigrants, and most of the elites who work in the 416 actually live in the 905, is another dog whistle us versus them phrase with racist undertones. A few years back, around this time, hockey commentator and professional grouch Don Cherry used the phrase "you people" to talk about new Canadians that weren't showing the respect for veterans he felt they should around Remembrance Day. And while I literally don't think he realized he was being racist, since Cherry spoke like you'd expect a person whose education centered around sports in the 1950s, he lost his longtime gig as the poo-flinging monkey on Coach's Corner. Personally, I would have accepted a heartfelt apology from Don Cherry when he used the phrase, even though he ought to have known better, being a public figure. But the landscape of acceptable speech has been shifting rapidly, like sands in a monsoon recently, and Cherry, like many others, simply wasn't mentally able to evolve quickly enough or capable of the sort of long-term verbal impulse control society now expects. But again, I would have rather used it as a teachable moment for everyone else, seeing as a majority of people who have said "you people" still don't realize they're being racist or why it's something they need to stop doing. And mostly because I fundamentally believe in two things. One, society can't evolve and correct these issues with a zero tolerance policy. And two, people's right to say stupid things in a free society must be protected, so long as everyone else also has a right to gang up on them, rip apart their argument, and call them stupid in large groups. That's not censorship, it's shaming. And with the unrepentant glee some have in intolerantly rushing to judgment, we don't have enough shaming in our society anymore. Because if people aren't given the opportunity to accept they were wrong and make honest efforts to change their behavior, then we're just replacing one intolerance for another. And that's just evil. But maybe those abusing the snap judgments are so smugly self-righteous about everything that they think they're immune to shame or retribution, which they are not. And because history repeats itself almost like a clock, I guarantee you the self-righteous, zero-tolerant crowd will very soon find themselves on the receiving end. Cut out, shut out, shunted, shamed. Because if everyone rolls their eyes after you do something, when you're being an a-hole about it, then it doesn't matter if you're the offender or the offended. Shame on you. On this day in 1034, Malcolm MacKinada, King of Scots, died. His grandson, Donchad, son of Beathach and Cranad of Dunkeld, inherited the throne! Freedom! Sorry. And on this day in 1487, Elizabeth of York was crowned Queen of England. But not that Queen Elizabeth. This was the one that was married to Henry VII, mother of Henry VIII, grandmother of Elizabeth I, and through her daughter Margaret, the one who provides direct lineage to current monarch Queen Elizabeth II. I'm Henry VIII, I am. Shut up. It's also Day of Mourning, the annual protest to honor Native ancestors and their struggles to survive in a post-colonial American society. And it's Shopping Reminder Day, Parfait Day, Blasé Day, and Turkey-Free Thanksgiving. And that's today's Duza Bear Digest. See you tomorrow.